From a young age, there was something Olivia couldn't shake, an absence she didn't have the words for. Raised by her mother and a man she called dad, everything seemed fine. But when she was 10 years old, a quiet conversation shattered her understanding of family. The man raising her wasn't her biological father. That knowledge followed her for decades like a shadow. Life moved on. She became a mother herself, raised 3 sons, built a life. But in the quietest moments, the question always returned, who was he? Years later, driven by that unrelenting need for truth, she turned to modern science, a simple DNA test. At first, it was about discovering her heritage, but the results pointed her in a direction she hadn't dared to hope for, a connection to people she never knew existed. One lead turned into another, distant cousins, then a name, and then a phone number. She made the call. On the other end of the line, a man answered. He had no idea who she was, but he listened and agreed to take a test of his own. Weeks passed. Olivia waited. She'd spent a lifetime preparing for disappointment, but she couldn't help imagining what it would feel like to finally know, to fill that space. Then the results came in, a match. The man on the other end wasn't a distant relative. He wasn't just a stranger. He was the person she'd been searching for her entire life. What Olivia didn't know, what he didn't know, was that 50 years earlier, during a military tour in the Philippines, he had met her mother. They'd shared time together, and then, as war does, it pulled him away. He never heard from her again, and he never knew a child had come from it. He had lived his life thinking he had no children. He was a Vietnam veteran. He was 78 years old. His name was Gary Barnes. In November of that year, Olivia flew across the country. The moment they met was beyond words. 2 lives shaped by absence, suddenly made whole. But the story didn't end there. A month later, he traveled to meet not just his daughter, but his grandsons, and even a great-grandchild. The family he never knew he had was real, waiting. And in a quiet moment at a military ceremony, Gary stood beside his youngest grandson, a cadet, and pinned a badge onto his uniform. One soldier to another, one generation to the next. After decades of quiet, his life was suddenly loud with laughter, hugs, family dinners, and stories. The past no longer hurt. The missing pieces were no longer missing. In his final years, Gary discovered something that some people never do, that love and family can find you, no matter how late, no matter how far.